This man started with a $100 loan from his mother. No education, no connections, no family name that opened any doors. Just a 16-year-old kid from Staten Island with a wooden boat, and a hunger that never, not once in 82 years, quit. By the time he died, he was worth over $105 million. That was 1/87th of the entire American economy. Adjusted for his share of GDP, over $143 billion in today's money. Only Rockefeller ever surpassed him. He didn't just collect wealth. He physically built the country, the steamship routes, the railroads, the terminal that still stands at 42nd Street in New York City today. And he was feared by rivals, despised by the press, and loved by absolutely nobody. He once sent a letter to two business partners who had cheated him. Short, brutal, unforgettable. Gentlemen, you have undertaken to cheat me. I won't sue you, for the law is too slow. I will ruin you. He wasn't bluffing. His name was Cornelius Vanderbilt. And this is how the fourth child of a broke Staten Island farmer became the most powerful man in American history. May 27, 1794. Port Richmond, Staten Island, New York. Cornelius Vanderbilt was born the fourth of 9 children into a Dutch farming family that had been in America since 1650. His great-great-great-grandfather, Jan Urtsen, had sailed over from a tiny village called De Bilt in the Netherlands, arriving as an indentured servant with nothing but his hands. Over 5 generations, the family scratched out a living on Staten Island. Farming, ferrying, surviving. At age 11, Cornelius quit school, didn't ask permission, just stopped going. He went to work on the waterfront, his father's dock, his father's boats, his father's business. 5 years total of formal schooling. For the rest of his life, he was proud of it. He said, "If I had learned education, I would not have had time to learn anything else." By 16, working for his father wasn't enough. He went to his mother Phoebe with a deal. "Loan me $100 and I'll plow and sow the entire 8-acre rocky field by myself." That field was brutal, stone-filled, unworkable. Nobody had cleared it properly. Cornelius struck a side deal with his friends. "Help me work the field, I'll take you sailing." They finished it. Phoebe handed him the $100. He bought a 2-masted, flat-bottomed sailing vessel, a periauger, named it the Swiftsure, and immediately went into direct competition with his own father. His first year in business, he paid his mother back the full $100 loan, then handed her an extra $1,000 on top. He was 16 years old. $1,000 in 1810 is roughly $25,000 today, made with one boat in 1 year. He didn't celebrate, he expanded. When the War of 1812 broke out, the federal government needed to move supplies fast to military outposts around New York Harbor. Vanderbilt looked at that government contract and said, "I'll do it." He built up his fleet, won the contracts, executed. By December 31, 1817, just 7 years after buying his first boat, Cornelius Vanderbilt was 23 years old. He owned 3 vessels. He had $9,000 in cash. And he had already made his next decision. In 1817, a wealthy businessman named Thomas Gibbons offered him a job, captain his steamboat line between New Jersey and New York. Vanderbilt walked away from his own business, took the salary. Not because Gibbons was paying him enough, but because Vanderbilt understood something most men never do. You cannot conquer what you don't understand. For 11 years, 1818 to 1829, he worked under Gibbons. He learned every inch of the steamboat business. Boilers, fuel, routes, costs, legal fights. His wife Sophia, his first cousin whom he married on December 19, 1813, ran the day-to-day operation of Gibbons's New Jersey tavern. They had 13 children together. But the Hudson River and New York waters were controlled by a state-granted steamboat monopoly, handed to Robert Fulton and Robert Livingston by the New York legislature back in 1808, a 30-year monopoly. No license, they seized your boat. Gibbons didn't have the license. They seized your boat. Gibbons didn't have the license. He had a federal...
1829, he went independent, age 35, and he immediately did what terrified every competitor in the business. He dropped his prices to almost nothing. While other lines charged $3 for New York to Albany, Vanderbilt charged 10 cents, sometimes nothing at all. He ran at a loss long enough to bleed out anyone who competed. One by one, rivals came crawling. "Stop competing with us. We'll pay you to go away." He took their money, moved to the next route, did it again. By the 1830s, his competitors were paying him $40,000 a month not to compete. He said, "I don't care half so much about making money as I do about making my point and coming out ahead." By 1846, Cornelius Vanderbilt was a millionaire, 52 years old, self-made, 5 years of schooling, no inherited wealth, built from a $100 loan and 36 years of total war on every competitor he ever faced. Then 1849 happened, California, gold. Tens of thousands wanted to get there, fast. The Panama route was expensive, slow, dangerous, jungle malaria, mule trains, crowded ships. Vanderbilt looked at the map and saw what nobody else was looking at. Nicaragua was actually closer to the United States than Panama. It had a natural water highway, Lake Nicaragua and the San Juan River, that cut most of the way across by water. He negotiated transit rights with Nicaragua, built docks, built a 12-mile connecting road, launched the Accessory Transit Company. His price, $10 per passenger to California. The Panama route charged $20. He cut the price in half and cut travel time by 2 days. From 1851 to 1852 alone, the Nicaragua route earned him $1 million a year, roughly $36 million today, per year. Competitors again paid him to stop, $40,000 a month, rising to $56,000 a month. In 1853, flush with gold rush money, he commissioned the North Star, 270 feet long, 2,000 tons, the largest private yacht in the world at the time, cost around $500,000. He sailed it to Europe, received heads of state. While he was gone, 2 men he had left in charge, Charles Morgan and Cornelius Garrison, stole his entire company through stock manipulation. Vanderbilt came home, learned what happened. He sent them the letter. He formed a competing Panama line, slashed fares to $35, below what they could survive. Within 2 years, both men were out of business completely. Then when Panama competitors offered to pay him not to run the route, he walked away from shipping altogether. He was 70 years old, and he was looking at railroads. Most men on Wall Street considered the New York and Harlem Railroad worthless. Stock had sold as low as $3 a share in 1857. Vanderbilt started quietly buying. By 1863, he had cornered the stock and taken full control. In the first 5 years of running his railroad lines, he reportedly cleared $25 million. Then he moved. 1864, acquired the Hudson River Railroad. 1867, acquired the New York Central Railroad. 1869, acquired the Lakeshore and Michigan Southern Railway. November 1st, 1869. He merged his key lines into one colossal entity, the New York Central and Hudson River Railroad. One of the first true corporate giants in United States history, a single system connecting New York City all the way to Chicago, and in 1869 he ordered construction of Grand Central Depot at 42nd Street, Manhattan, finished in 1871, the largest railroad terminal in America. He buried the tracks underground on 4th Avenue to eliminate the smoke and noise from the streets above. That buried cut became a tunnel, and 4th Avenue, suddenly free of trains, became something the world had never seen. It became Park Avenue. Today, Park Avenue is the most expensive commercial real estate corridor in New York City. It exists because Cornelius Vanderbilt buried his railroad tracks. There was one railroad he never got, the Erie Railway. In 1868, he tried to corner Erie stock and absorb it into his empire, but Erie's insiders, Daniel Drew, Jay Gould, and James Fisk Jr., fought back with outright fraud. Every time Vanderbilt bought shares and they printed more, thousands of fraudulent shares dumped into the market, diluting his position. Vanderbilt spent over $7 million buying Erie stock. They kept printing. Before a New York judge could stop them, Gould grabbed a briefcase stuffed with $500,000 in cash and literally fled across state lines to New Jersey, beyond the reach of New York courts. Then he went to Albany and bought the state legislature. One senator took $75,000 from Vanderbilt. then took $100,000 from Gould, kept both sums, and voted with Gould. The legislature passed a law legalizing the fraud. Vanderbilt lost. Not to a better businessman, but to a man willing to commit crimes and purchase a government. He walked away, absorbed the loss, went back to work. He never got the Erie, and he never forgot it. January 4th, 1877. Manhattan, New York. Cornelius Vanderbilt died at age 82, buried at the Moravian Cemetery in Staten Island, the same island where that boy had borrowed $100 from his mother 66 years before. His estate, over $105 million, 1/87th of the entire American GDP, $143 billion in today's money. He left $90 million to his son William Henry, $7.5 million split among William's 4 sons. His 8 surviving daughters received between $250,000 and $500,000 each. The only charity he ever made, $1 million, persuaded by his second wife, to a small Methodist university in Nashville, Tennessee. The largest charitable gift in American history at the time. That university was renamed Vanderbilt University. It still stands today. His son William doubled the fortune to $200 million by 1885. But then the grandchildren arrived. They built the Breakers in Newport, Biltmore in Asheville, 250 rooms, mansions on Fifth Avenue, mansions across Europe, and they spent and spent and spent. By 1973, when 120 Vanderbilt descendants gathered for their first-ever family reunion, not one of them was a millionaire. The fortune built in one brutal lifetime was gone in 3 lavish generations, but what Vanderbilt built, that was not gone. Grand Central Terminal still stands at 42nd Street. 67 million people walk through it every year. Park Avenue still runs through the heart of Manhattan. The Gibbons versus Ogden ruling, which Vanderbilt helped force into existence, became the legal foundation for every federal regulation of interstate commerce in American history. Every highway, every airline, every pipeline, all of it rests on that 1824 Supreme Court decision. So was he a captain of industry or a robber baron? He was the original. The template that Rockefeller, Carnegie, and every titan after him studied and copied. He grew up poor, educated himself by doing, and built the infrastructure that physically moved a continent. He also crushed competitors without mercy, was a terrible husband and a worse father, and once said with complete sincerity, "What do I care about the law? Ain't I got the power?" A boy who started with a $100 loan and a wooden boat, who built 2 empires, one on water, one on steel, who lost exactly one significant fight, and that only because his enemy committed fraud and bribed a government, who died the richest man in America and left behind a railroad, a terminal, a street, and a university. Cornelius Vanderbilt didn't just get rich. He built the country that made everyone else's ambition possible, and he never once, not for a single day, apologized for how he did it.